Am I here? Hi everyone. My name is Alyse Bacine. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. So I am a breath worker and psychic healer. So I guide people to healing and transformation through breath work and through my psychic gifts. So today I'm going to talk about how you can utilize breath work to be the best in your business. And I'm going to explain a little bit about breath work, about what I do, and why it is so important for you to use this technique to really become the best you can be, not only in your business, but in all areas of life, because there's always somewhere that we need to grow, right? Even if you say to me, hey, I'm having 5-figure months. Hey, I'm doing really great in my business. Well, I'm sure there's some aspect of your life that you would like to grow, that you would like to evolve, and breath work is the means to take you there. And I'm gonna explain all of that today. So, why is breath work actually important, right? Because maybe you say to me, hey, I have a spiritual practice, I do meditation, I do yoga, why do I need to do breath work? Well, breath work is so unique and different, and it really, really helps to move energy in the body. And there's two really important key aspects of breath work that I want to touch on today so you can understand why it's such a vital thing to do to keep you growing and moving forward, not only in your business, but in your life, right? Because when you're moving forward and growing in your life, when you're moving forward in your own personal growth, your business is only going to grow and expand. So that's why I'm gonna just talk to you a little bit about why it's so important to really understand personal growth and really value personal growth as you're moving forward in your business, because it's so important to really become conscious about why you do the things you do and the areas that you really need to grow, because that'll help you so much in growing your business. So for those of you who might not know a whole lot about breath work, I'm just going to explain to you a little bit about what I do. I've been practicing breath work for 20 years and teaching it. I discovered it when I was 19, which is kind of crazy because now that I think back on it, I was a kid and I didn't really know what I was doing, but at the time I was suffering really bad from anxiety. I had an eating disorder, horrible body image issues, not really knowing why I was so miserable, but I was miserable all the time, just was experiencing a lot of self-hatred, not really sure where to go with my life. And I started working at a yoga studio, and there they had a class on breath work. And I went to the class, and I don't even think anything that major happened during the class, but for some reason I felt super drawn to it, and I think I intuitively knew that this practice was going to change my life in some way. So at 19 years old, I signed up for every single breathwork training, every single breathwork class that was available here in Philadelphia. And for the next 4 years of my life, I immersed myself in learning breathwork, teaching breathwork, healing myself, and helping other people heal. And now, fast forward 20 years later, I'm doing the same thing on a larger scale and really building my business around helping people heal and grow from the inside out. Hi everyone that's watching too. I just want to encourage you to please ask questions if you have a question about something specific that I'm talking about, because I'd love to answer it and I'd love to make this more of a discussion. So please feel free to do that. So so I discovered breathwork. I healed myself from anxiety, from an eating disorder, and really started to find my purpose in life through this work. So I feel super passionate about it, and I feel like it is the perfect complement to moving forward in your business. So for those of you that have your own businesses, for those of you that are coaches, this practice of breath work and uncovering your subconscious limiting beliefs is the perfect complement to moving forward in your career, moving forward in your business, and helping your clients. Because the more awareness that you have about your limiting beliefs, what's holding you back, and the areas that you really want to grow in, then you can help your clients that much more because you have that self-awareness. So what I really want to talk about is what actually happens during a breathwork session. Because for those of you who maybe never did any breathwork, or maybe you just did a little bit but never had an actual breathwork session, I just want to explain exactly what happens so you can understand a few aspects of why it's so powerful. So the type of breathwork that I teach and that I do with my clients is called conscious connected breathing. It's a super simple breathwork technique where you're breathing in and out of the mouth, and you are connecting your inhale to your exhale. So it's like a circular breath. And really quickly, I'm just going to show you what it looks like so you understand. It's super, super simple. It looks like this. And you can even try it with me if you want. And even just breathing like this, if you just tried it just for a few breaths, just notice how your energy changes just in those few short breaths. So what I do with my clients is a super simple breathing technique. And what happens is a couple things. One is you get to have an experience, a prolonged experience of being in the present moment. And why is being in the present moment so important? Well, when you begin to experience the present moment, because you cannot breathe in the past and you cannot breathe in the future. Your breath is your connection to the present moment, your connection to all that is, your connection to the divine, whatever you want to call it. Your breath is your connection to that. So when you are consciously breathing, you are forcing yourself to be in the present moment. You're forcing yourself to connect with the quantum field where all possibilities exist. So if you are doing this on a regular basis, you are continuing to connect yourself with this field of infinite possibilities. So you're continuing to connect yourself with the infinite. So what ends up happening is you start to embody those infinite possibilities. You start to embody all that is possible for you. And then things really start to shift and change. So that's one. You're connecting yourself to the present moment. You're connecting yourself to the quantum field. You are becoming infinite possibility by focusing on moving the air in and out of the body and staying in the present moment. So that's number one. Number two is what actually happens during the session is energy starts to move in the body, right? So as we're breathing, as we're moving air in and out of the body, stuck energy starts to move, right? And what that looks like is subconscious limiting beliefs, old thought patterns, things that happen in childhood, feelings that you haven't quite dealt with, situations that happen that you maybe stuffed down because you didn't want to allow yourself to fully feel it. All of these things that you haven't allowed yourself to deal with begin to rise to the surface into your conscious awareness for you to release and become aware of. So things that are living in your subconscious, right? So when I talk about subconscious limiting beliefs, what I'm talking about is old ways of thinking, usually that we picked up in childhood, right? So we usually pick up and make a lot of decisions about the world at a very young age. So when we're children, and I'll explain this really quickly, when we're children, usually between the ages of 0 to 7, 0 to 8, we make all these decisions about the world because kids are like sponges, right? You just are absorbing everything from your environment. So you look at your parents, you look at your siblings, you look at the environment around you, and you make decisions about the world based on what you see. So if you are seeing that people your parents are fighting, or there's not a lot of money, and you're hearing these things being said around you, you are unconsciously making decisions about the world based on what you're hearing and seeing. And those beliefs and decisions live in your subconscious. And a lot of times we're not even aware of them because we made these decisions at such a young age. And a lot of it is pre-verbal, right? Before we really knew how to talk, we're absorbing all of these things about the world, and these decisions are living in our subconscious, and unbeknownst to us, they're kind of driving the bus in a sense. They're driving the decisions that we're making about the world. So, and a lot of times we don't even realize it. So for example, if you have a belief that money is hard to come by, or your parents were always talking about not having money, you might have picked up that you have a lack mentality, or money is hard to come by. And even though you're saying, I'm wanting to bring in abundance, I want to create this business, I want to make a lot of money, but you have a subconscious belief that's telling you that money is hard to come by, you are never going to be able to call in that abundance because you have this block here, this subconscious limiting belief that you're not aware of, that's operating the train, that's making decisions for you, right? That you're operating from this place. So back to what I was saying, when you are in a breathwork session, these subconscious limiting beliefs, this stuck energy that's living in the subconscious, begins to rise into the conscious. So you can become aware of it, A, and B, you actually get the chance to release the stuck energy through the breath. And that is one of the things that I work very precisely with my clients on, is once I see that there is some stuck energy, some limiting belief that you picked up in childhood, I will guide you to release it instantly through the breath. And that is one of the most powerful things, because these old beliefs that we picked up in childhood rise up to the conscious awareness during a breathwork session, because we're moving the energy. All of this energy, all of these things that happened when we were younger, circumstances, situations, feelings, emotions, people, all of these things that happened to us in childhood are living within us and hold a chemical signature in our cells, especially things that we haven't fully dealt with, like old stuck emotions from childhood, maybe situations that were traumatizing or upsetting to you. If we haven't fully dealt with it, then it is living in our cells, like waiting for us to fully feel it so it can integrate into our being. So what happens in a breathwork session is this stuck energy, these chemical signatures that are living in ourselves begin to move, and they rise to the surface so that we can release them. And what ends up happening is we might feel an emotion, we might have an old thought of something that happened that seems totally random, but it comes to the surface and we allow it to release through the breath. So these are two really important things that I want you to understand about the process of breath work, and what really sets it apart from other spiritual practices, because the movement of energy and what happens during that movement of energy are what makes this such a powerful practice for anyone and everyone, and how this can really propel you forward in all areas of life, especially your business. Because the more that you can become aware of anything that's holding you back and you can release it, the more you're going to just fly forward in whatever your pursuits are in your business. So thanks everyone. I love everyone's comments. Hi Jocelyn. And again, if you have any questions about what I'm saying, please feel free to ask, because I would love to answer your questions. I love talking about this. Okay, so the other thing I really want to touch on is, why does it really matter to uncover your subconscious limiting beliefs, right? Like, why do we need to delve into our subconscious? Like, doesn't this seem hard? Doesn't this seem difficult? Like, why does this really matter? And like I said, there's a couple things. If there is something that you are wanting in your life that is not showing up for you, it means that you have, thank you, it means that you have a subconscious limiting belief in this area. So here's an example, right? Say you have a business, right? And you've been successful to a certain point, and maybe you're making a certain amount of money, but you really have a goal that you want to make X amount of money. So say you're making, $100,000 a year, but you really have a goal for yourself. You want to make $500,000 a year, right? But for whatever reason, you're not able to surpass the certain threshold, right? And no matter what you do, no matter how much strategy you're putting in place, no matter how many different people you're listening to about what to do to create people in your business or what to do marketing wise or whatever it is, you just can't seem to get past this threshold, right? What that is showing you is that you have some underlying subconscious limiting belief that is holding you at this place, right? And an example of what that could be is like maybe your mother only made this amount of money. And because that's what you saw growing up, you subconsciously believe that that's all that's available to you. So until you go back and become aware of what that belief is that's holding you back, you are not going to be able to surpass this certain threshold because you have some kind of limiting belief around that, right? So this is a really, really great way for you to understand what your subconscious limiting beliefs are just by looking at the results in your life. Okay, so I'll give you another example. Maybe you have a thriving business, your business is going amazing, but you are really wanting to call in a romantic partner and that just really doesn't seem to be showing up for you, right? So that is showing you that you have some kind of limiting belief around calling in a partner. Maybe it's an issue of self-worth. Maybe it is a family pattern that goes back to when you were younger, like I was talking about. It's really looking at the results in your life and letting those be your guide, letting those be the key that allows you to unlock what your subconscious limiting beliefs are. Because, like I said, if you are wanting something and it's not showing up for you, that means you have a limiting belief around that you need to address. And okay, so how do I address it, you say? Well, one of the best ways to address it is through breathwork. And that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm telling you that breathwork is one of the best ways to ignite massive change in your business and in your life in general. Because if you see that there's a result that you're not getting, we can use breathwork to help you uncover exactly what is holding you back. And it doesn't have to be difficult, because in a breathwork session, you will see as you start breathing, these beliefs, these patterns will begin to rise to the surface into your conscious awareness so you can understand, okay, oh, I think I know what it is that's holding me back, right? And I see it with my clients all the time. They will be like, oh, well, I don't know why I act this way around money all the time. I don't know why I have really bad boundaries. And then we start breathing and we realize like, oh, that's exactly how your father was. You literally are taking on your father's story or the way that your father was in relationships, right? We learn everything about how to be in relationships from our parents. So this is another really, really important dynamic to look at in your business or otherwise. Anytime you're feeling stuck in a relationship, or you're wanting a relationship and it's not coming in, or you're in a relationship and you're feeling like you get sucked into these same dynamics, these same patterns, what you are dealing with is that you are playing out the unconscious relationship patterns that you picked up in childhood. Because like I said, from the ages of 0 to 7 is when we make all of these decisions about the world. So If you see your parents relating to each other in a certain way or relating to you in a certain way, you usually will play out those dynamics with other people. So this is another really big thing to become aware of, especially in your business, because most businesses are all about building relationships, right? And certain people may trigger us, and they may have us go back into those old patterns. And that's something we want to be really aware of, because we want to be super conscious in the way that we're relating to people so that we can really serve people in the best way possible. So this is something else that's really, really important that I work with my clients on all the time, is really understanding these relationship dynamics that you pick up in childhood and how they play out in your life. One of the biggest ones, and for those of you who work a job where you have a boss, a lot of times we'll play out these unconscious dynamics with our boss, because we'll put them in the role, in our mind, we'll put them in the role of a parent figure, and we'll play out these dynamics that we used to play out with our family members. So all of this stuff is really, really important and exciting to uncover, because it's like putting together pieces of the puzzle, right? Like once you find all the pieces of the puzzle, then you can start to put them together and realize that you can create a new story for yourself. And this is what I really want everyone to know, is that change doesn't have to be difficult. It can happen quickly and it can happen easily, and I see it happening all the time. So I think some people have this perception of like, oh, if I do personal growth work and I really look at my stuff, it's going to be too difficult. I'm going to lose control. I can't handle it. And what I want to tell you is that doesn't have to be the case. It's not like therapy where you just talk and talk and talk and you don't really go anywhere. If you are willing to go there and utilize the power of breath work, you can make changes in your life really quickly and really, really easily. So thanks everyone for all the love. Please ask questions if you have them, especially specific to any of these topics, because I would love to expand on it further if you have a question about it. So yes, it is so, so important to understand that it doesn't have to be difficult. I have created a method of helping people release stuck energy and release old patterns really, really quickly. So I just want to tell you, it doesn't have to be difficult. And then one of the other really important aspects of breathwork that I want to touch on is the aspect of connecting to your intuition. And this is so, so, so important. And I work with my clients on this all the time, because you can utilize your intuition in your business and you will experience so much success just by really listening to, connecting to, and trusting your intuition. So that is a really key aspect that ends up happening once you practice breath work. You are able to connect with your intuition on such a deeper level. And I'll tell you right now, the number one key to listening to your intuition and letting it guide you is trusting your intuition. That is the biggest key to letting your intuition guide you, is trusting your intuition. Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah, it's so, so important. And so I'm realizing I'm running out of time, and I did want to pull some cards for the collective. And then I also want to invite everyone to join my group, Breathe to Succeed, because on Friday I'm going to be doing a training which is all about awakening to your divine gifts. And I'm really going to touch on this intuition thing even more in this training that I'm doing on Friday. That's in my group, Breathe to Succeed, and I put the link up there for everyone to join. And it's a free training that I'm doing on Friday, so I highly recommend coming, because I'm really going to give you some key aspects to connect with your intuition, and I'm going to show you how it can be easy. I'm all about making things easy for you. Listen, I have gone 20 years of personal growth, self-development, breath work, healing myself, and I've taken every single thing that I've learned and I've made it easy for you. I have a background in education, so I know how to teach and I know how to write a curriculum to make things really simple and easy and for people to get results. So I'm all about making it easy for you because I want everyone to understand that growth doesn't have to be difficult. Looking at what happened to you in the past doesn't have to be painful. We can look at it and we can move through it, and you can grow in your business and make all the money that you want to make. Oh, tuning in from Australia. Awesome. So I only have a few more minutes, so I really want to just pull some cards for the group. But if anyone has any specific questions, I'd be happy to pull a card for you now too. So let me see. I'll get these two. Okay. And in my training on Friday in my group, I'm going to be doing some more oracle card pulls really specifically on awakening to your divine gifts. Because I know all you women entrepreneurs out there, you are wanting to share your gifts with the world. Like, that's why you're doing this. So I really want to support and help everyone continue to awaken to your divine gifts because it's a process, right? We're continuously uncovering and understanding more about what we have to offer the world. So, this is a good one. So the first card I pulled for everyone is Here and Now. And this is so important because this is all about being present, right? And this is perfect because this is what breathwork is all about. It's about allowing yourself the space to experience yourself in the present moment. And it can feel confrontational. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Thank you. It can feel confrontational, but you are allowing yourself to experience exactly what's going on for you in the present moment by using the breath. So breathwork is all about the here and now, and it's all about utilizing the power of the present moment to release the past. Ooh, and this is a really good one too. Loyal Heart, I love this one. So what this is really telling me for the group is really about being loyal to yourself and honoring yourself and what your true gifts are. Because as entrepreneurs, we all want to share our gifts with the world, and we really need to honor that. So what I really want to do is empower people to let go of thinking that you have to do something because that's what your family did or that's what society wants, and really being loyal to who you are, really being loyal to your heart. Oh, I'm going to answer, feeling like I'm at a crossroad and want to know how to tell the difference between ego and higher self intuition. This is such a good question. Thank you for asking this. How do you tell the difference between ego and higher self intuition? And for myself, the way that I tell the difference is if it's ego, there's some kind of charge around it, right? And when I say charge, I mean emotion. There's some kind of either fear or even excitement or hope. There's some emotion around it. When it's your intuition, usually it's just like a hit and it might dissipate, right? So that for me has been a really easy way for me to tell the difference between my intuition and ego or just a thought is if it has a charge around it. So usually if it's your ego, you'll feel worry, you'll feel unsure, you'll be like, oh, is that really true? Or you'll question. That's your ego. Intuition is a knowing. It's a knowing that you just don't question. And the more that you can sink into trusting that, the more that you will continue to receive those messages and continue to go deep in really understanding your divine gifts and what you're on this planet to do. And that's what I'm going to talk about more in my course on Friday. So please join me for that. And then I'm almost out of time, but the last one is All That Glitters. And this one is really awesome because this is all about pulling back the mask, pulling back the veil of the 3D reality and really being able to believe in something that you can't see. And as entrepreneurs, this is something that we really need to be skilled at because you have an idea, right? It's not all of a sudden in reality yet. You have to create it. So you have to believe in what you can't see. And that means pulling back the veil, not so much focusing on what's out here, but focusing on what's in here and believing in the things that you cannot see. And that is super duper important. Yes, definitely. Keeping the vision for sure. So that is all. I am out of time right now. This was so much fun, and I'm so excited to connect with you more. And sorry, I know there were some questions I didn't get to answer, but please join my group and come to my training on Friday. I'm going to be doing oracle card readings, and you will get your chance to ask specific questions about connecting with your divine purpose. So thank you guys so much for tuning in with me. This was really, really fun, and I'm looking forward to connecting with all of you soon. Bye.